Welcome back, Only Murders in the Buildings fans. I don't know why I'm saying welcome back because it's my first time posting my theories on YouTube when it comes to this show, but if you follow me on TikTok, you know that I literally post a video every single Monday right after I watch a new episode. And so many of you have your own comments, and we've gathered a little community over there where we talk about the theories of the episode and what we think is going to happen next. So I decided to bring this content to YouTube too, because why not? Because not everybody has TikTok, and some people prefer to watch a video horizontally the old-fashioned way. So, to jump right into it, episode 7 of Only Murders in the Building was a whirlwind, that's for sure. And can we just applaud the cast this season because it is absolutely incredible. I'm going to be jumping into a couple theories that I shared on my TikTok this week about the episode. I want you to let me know if you have some of these same theories. In episode 7, it was confirmed that all the Westies were in on pretending to be Dudenoff and cashing his checks at the bodega. I was so happy about this because I was right about this theory. I figured that they were all working together to keep Dudenoff alive, and that's exactly what happened. Now the question is, do we think the Westies killed him? I personally do not believe that they did. If anything, I think that Dudenoff may have been sick, maybe knew he was dying, and actually told the Westies to keep up this scheme so that they could keep their cheap rent. He seemed like a very caring person, and I could definitely see him doing something like this. Now, the other way of this theory is that maybe Dudenoff just died of natural causes. They found his body and they disposed of it themselves because they wanted to keep up the rent scheme. There is a third theory tied to this potentially, and it's maybe one of the Westies had an altercation with Dudenoff, actually killed him, but lied to the other Westie saying that he found them dead. Let me know your thoughts on those. I also believe that Dudenoff has been dead since season 1, potentially even before season 1 started. In season 1, we see Oliver get this note on his door where it says, "End the podcast or I end you. Pay close attention to the handwriting." This season, we see Rudy writes on himself on his abs for his content creation, and look at the handwriting. The E's match the same pattern, and all the letters are in capital letters just like the note. So I believe that Rudy and the rest of the Westies were the ones who put that note on Oliver's door in season 1. The fact that all these seasons are being tied together was also something I predicted, and I'm very satisfied with the way that we are finally getting answers to plot holes. Now let's turn our attention to Sazz. I definitely think that Sazz is the intended target, or was the intended target, because if you look at this screen grab from a preview of a future episode coming out, it shows that a sniper was following her. I believe that Sazz was starting to uncover the truth about all these different plot holes and realizing that there's a mastermind behind all of this living in the Arconia, and I feel like she was going to warn Charles about it. I also think that Sazz wrote the script. If we take a look at her desk, I made a whole TikTok video about breaking down all the different clues on her desk, but we see this stack of scripts right here. We could assume that these scripts are here because she's a stunt woman, and so maybe they're part of scripts she's been a part of or future projects she's working on. However, I now believe that Sazz was training and learning how to write scripts, and that's the new career venture she was going to lean into. I think she wrote the scripts for the Only Murders in the Building podcast movie, but I feel like while she was writing the script for this movie, she started to uncover the truth by realizing the plot holes that happened in season 1. In this last episode, we realized that Zach Galifianakis confirmed that the plot of the movie is the plot of season 1 Only Murders, because they bring up the plot holes about who poisoned Winnie and who left the note on Jan's door. Remember, the note that was left on Jan's door is in the exact same handwriting of the note that the trio got a text message to, "I am watching you," which also is a play on Sting, the "I'll be watching you," so I don't know. We have to take everybody into consideration from season 1. For some reason, my mind keeps going to Oscar's dad. Remember that he was the whole reason that they were able to even get into every single apartment in the Arconia during their teenage years, was because his father worked for the Arconia. And he would have a motive as well because his son was locked up and went away for a very long time. I don't know exactly where that theory ties in, but I'm just saying that I'm not putting him 100% in the clear yet just because he was in season 1, and we have to keep everybody in mind. Going back to the Sazz and the script thing, I think that Sazz wrote the script, and I think that Marshall stole it. Marshall, who is the writer of the film, seems to be getting very stressed out about needing to do these rewrites. Why would he be so stressed when he wrote the original script? Maybe because he didn't. Charles kept complimenting Marshall about how he wrote them all so well, like he knew them, exactly who they were. And it's hard for me to believe that he nailed them down to a T just based on listening to their voices in the podcast. But who did know them? Sazz. I don't believe Marshall killed Sazz himself. Maybe he did, or maybe he was trying to hire someone, or there was some kind of altercation. There was somebody in her apartment when the trio went to go visit in Los Angeles, but they didn't really dive more deep into that. Was it really just a cat? I feel like we're gonna get that answer uncovered soon. Either way, I think Marshall is suspicious about something, and I do not think he wrote the script. Another thing I'd like to point out is, why is Jen back? There has to be a reason she's back. They didn't just bring her back for shits and giggles. I think that Jen is either going to help uncover the murder of Sazz because she loved her, right? That's what she says. Or she's gonna end up dead. Jan is psychotic, but she's smart. I mean, she did escape prison after all. So I definitely think we're gonna see more of her this season, because if not, it would be so random just to have her come back. Especially showing up in Charles's apartment. This last theory is a little batshit crazy, and don't come at me for it. It's just something, a coincidence that we came across, and I don't know how to feel about it. It's what I'm calling my name theory. So last week I made a TikTok where I noticed there was a pattern in the names on the victims related to the killers. Season 1, Tim was murdered. Tim has 3 letters in it, T-I-M, and who killed him? Jan. Jan has 3 letters in it, J-A-A-N. In Season 2, it was Bunny, B-U-N-N-Y, which is 5 letters, who killed her? Poppy. 5 letters as well, also known as Becky, which is also 5 letters. Okay, it might just be a coincidence, right? Well, the next victim in Season 3 was Ben, and I thought, oh, this is where the pattern breaks. So I was wrong. Was I, though? Because if you spell out Ben Glenroy, and you spell Cliff Donna, because it was the 2 of them, it also equals 10 letters. Now, not just that, if you actually use their full name, it's Cliff DeMeo, or DeMeo, and Donna DeMeo, which both equal 10 letters. So every single season so far, the victim and the murderer have had the same number of letters in their names. I do not know if that is a coincidence, and if that truly is just a batshit irony. I want to know your thoughts on that. The other thing with the name theory is that everybody who's involved in the Hollywood movie, all of their names equal 13 letters. Every single one of them. The brother-sister twins, Beverly Mellon, Marshall P. Pope, and you know who else also equals 13 letters? Loretta Durkin and Charles Savage. All of them who are involved in Hollywood. And also Lester Dorman, 13 letters. I know Dorman's not his official last name, but that's what we've always known him as. And he used to be in Hollywood. Again, is this just a coincidence? Like, somebody please let me know. So if we're taking that theory into account, we have Sazz Pataki. Now, Sazz Pataki is, I believe, 10 letters. It's A-Z-Z-P-A-T-A-K-I. But if we're using the government name like we have with other people, it's Sarah Pataki, potentially. Some people still think that Sazz and Sarah aren't the same person based on the plane ticket we saw on her desk. But if her name is Sarah Pataki, that is 11 letters. Everyone so far that I have thought about who has 11 letters in their name is Rudy Thruber, Vincent Fish, Inez Oliveira, and Scott Bakula. I'm wondering if the pattern is going to continue and if the person who murdered Sazz is going to have the same number of letters as all the other seasons. Somebody, is this a coincidence? It's pretty much the majority of it of what I've talked about on this week's TikTok with dealing with episode 7. We're only a few more episodes away from the finale, and I really think that this season might end on a potential cliffhanger. We might uncover Sazz's murder, but I feel like we're going to end on a cliffhanger of something that's going to tie into even bigger, showcasing that there has been somebody this entire time. Also, side note, I potentially think that Sazz was the one that bugged the apartments because she was watching them, because the killer didn't have access until he had Sazz's phone. So I don't believe the killer set up the cameras, but who knows? Let me know what you think in the comments, and go ahead and give this video a like. Subscribe to my channel for more fandom, travel, and lifestyle content, and I'll see you in the next one.